Hey, it's Laura Hanson. I'm a high performance coach, which means I study life and I love getting to study the way people think. And by study, I mean really analyzing it and processing it and looking at the way people choose to live and trying to say, why do they do those things? What is going on inside their head? Because oftentimes people don't like to reveal what's going on. So I get to enjoy the process of discovering it, of exploring it, of asking the questions, of getting behind the scenes, which is really into the mind of somebody else to better understand their thinking. Because when we better understand our thinking, we can change our thoughts into better ways of thinking. And the end result is we take better actions that lead us in the direction we want to go in, instead of repeating the same patterns or behaviors that really aren't serving us. So today's video is going to either challenge you and the way you're thinking, or it's going to offer you an understanding, meaning you're going to be able to understand why people do things in your life. You're going to notice patterns with people that either you work with or you live with or you're friends with, and get a better idea of what could be going on with them, and maybe you can help guide them in the right direction. So the first thing that I want to talk about is that people hold on to the past, meaning they redirect their thoughts towards the past, or they redirect conversations towards things that have already happened, whether short-term or long-term, because they don't like where they are now, mostly physically, but also just in their current environment, in their overall life, in their present day, if you will. And they also don't like how things are now, how things are going, what their relationships are like. Maybe they're uncomfortable with you if this is a sit-down conversation with someone and you notice they constantly direct their thoughts towards the good old days, or they constantly direct their thoughts towards something that went wrong. But either way, it's all past oriented. It's simply because they don't like how things are going now, or they don't like where they are now. Now, the second thing is that people stay in jobs. I got some notes here. It's just so much more efficient if I take notes rather than trying to memorize this. Are you with me? All right, I appreciate your grace for that. So listen, people stay in jobs that aren't fulfilling and they feel trapped because they overemphasize the value of experience and they underemphasize the freedom from happiness. I want you to really let that sink in. Because have you ever stayed somewhere that you weren't happy with, either in a job or maybe a relationship, because you thought, well, I've already put in this much work, it's gonna be a lot to start over new, I don't really know if I can do that, I don't really know if my skills are transferable, and so I'll just kind of suck it up, I'll kind of embrace where I'm at. And if you have, it doesn't sound like there's also happiness going on in that situation, right? So why is it worth it to stay somewhere, stay in a situation that either you cannot change, or you haven't tried to change or improve, just because there's experience there? Is life not here to be enjoyed? I don't know. For me personally, I gotta say, this is a big takeaway, a big breakthrough in my life, is realizing that happiness comes when I take agency over my life. I no longer complain about the environment I'm in. I either try to change it, I try to improve it, I try to change my perspective, my outlook, my output, anything. I've got to do something, because I can't stand staying somewhere where I feel beat down or crushed or pressured. I don't do that. Right? And I don't believe that you should be doing that either, because that's not where happiness is. I promise you, I tried. I wanted to make it happen and it couldn't work. So again, I want to reemphasize that people stay in jobs that aren't fulfilling and they feel trapped because they overemphasize the value of experience, of their experience already accrued, already established, already built, and they underemphasize the freedom, the release, the flow of happiness. All right, the third thing here that I have for you is when people are exhausted from being unheard or overlooked, they stop pitching their ideas. They stop weighing in. They stop showing up. They stop contributing to the organization, to the relationship. This is when you typically see people go back into the shadows, or they stay in the shadows. They're quiet, they're reserved. And it's not that they don't have anything to offer. And if you think they don't have anything to offer, I'm telling you right now, woo, you should go and talk to that person, because they have a lot of ideas. Because you know what? When they are sitting there observing everybody else talking and chit-chatting, they're back there making sense of everything that's going on. So find the quiet person and ask them what their ideas are, because I can guarantee you they have wrapped their mind around the entire situation. But if that's you who's reluctant, who's hiding in the shadows, I honor you for that. I really do, because you know what? It's terrible to be overlooked. It's terrible to put your ideas out there only for people to look at you and then turn the other way as if you didn't even speak or say anything. And I honor you for even showing up and still being there. But the thing is, you belong in the front seat. And I challenge you to put your foot down, to find a way to get up in that front seat, because there is plenty of room for you up in that front seat. Meaning you can take the wheel, meaning you can drive the ship, meaning you can offer so much. Maybe we just got to find a new way of doing it. Maybe we have to find a new way of being assertive, a new way of interjecting you into conversations, because you have so much to offer and this world needs all that you have to contribute. So those are the 3 things that I have today. Those are the 3 things that I believe can help you step into greater levels of happiness, greater levels of fulfillment, greater levels of freedom in your life. Some people are calling that authenticity these days. I call it freedom. And so I challenge you to implement these things. I challenge you to reflect on your life and the ways that you have been either holding back in the shadows, the areas of your life where you're not sitting in the front seat, the areas of your life where you tend to be focused on the past, and ask yourself, how can I gear this conversation towards the present? How can I switch things to say, where am I right now? How can I have a meaningful conversation with this person? And how can I create something different if I don't like the way things are right now? So that's what I have for you. I hope you geek out and nerd out and love personal development as much as I do, because we all have a life and we all deserve to improve it, to grow it, and to make it better and live it happily. All right, my friend, take care.